Good afternoon. This is Spiritualogic Wisdom Talks. I hope I can give you guys something really interesting to think about, which can make difference. That would make a difference, and that would make all the difference. And because I believe in the domino effect, where it's not about changing so many things, but changing that one little thing that can take down the whole thing. So as you're here, I want you guys to listen with the attitude of listening to some soft buzzing music. See? So that's an attitude where we are listening in order to experience some sort of a shift, some sort of a movement, to be moved in some way, to experience some sort of a change. That's why we are listening to music. So we want to be listening like that. So we are looking for change. We are looking for transformation. We are looking for difference. So if some things are going to be obvious to you as you're listening, but I would encourage you guys to ask the question, what am I not seeing here? What am I not hearing here? Because mind comes to this point where I get it. Don't fall for that. Always ask the question, what am I not seeing here? What am I not hearing here? Keeps the mind open, makes the mind keep looking, rather than come to conclusions, which mostly would be premature. So you don't want to come to premature conclusions. You want to keep your mind open to see what is there. So an attitude of curiosity is what I would strongly encourage. An attitude of curiosity. Okay, what is here that can make a difference in my life, that can make a difference in my experience of living? So on that note, let's begin. So I want to start speaking about past. Because most of us, what really causes us suffering is stuff from the past. Memories. Things that have happened, have took place in the past. So I want to speak about that. The nature of our memories. Can we really relive our past? Is it really possible for us to really relive? The truth of the matter is, we cannot. It's impossible to relive the past. What is possible is we can reconstruct the past with images that got strongly imprinted in your mind from that moment. Maybe words, some body sensations that you felt in the moment, some things you have heard in the moment. Someone said something, okay, you're not going to be good enough. Whatever can be stuff. Whatever someone said, that must have hurt at the time so deeply. You took so much, you took so personal. So there's going to be a mix of images, a mix of words, sounds, and body sensations. And of course, if there can be smell, if some sort of smell is part of the experience, there was some particular smell was there. So essentially own your senses, your sensory experiences with body sensations, with a bunch of ideas, words, and that's it. But the thing is, you do not get to relive the past. What is possible is for you to reconstruct it from scratch as you are experiencing. But what you're experiencing is not the past, it's not that moment. Because you have to also reconstruct that you at that time, because so much time has gone by, because you are not that person anymore. So you have to kind of reconstruct you in that time period. Or how would me at that time, and then the images, and then you have to kind of mix it up because you cannot get it because there's so much to it. You do not get to reconstruct the same way again. Once it's actually experienced, it's over. It's done. You do not get to experience your past. And memories are never true. None of it is. There's a lot of studies done on court trials. And people, when they start speaking, they start adding stuff into their memory. You know, they even did a research with teenagers or college students. And by the third attempt or something, 70% of the students agreed to doing something that they never did. Literally, At first they were like, oh, no, I didn't do it. Now all you need is just some elements of stuff, and all they were asked to do was just like go and really think, like, what you don't remember from that and about this particular thing. Eventually you start to add that into your memory, stuff that never existed. So the truth is, every experience you're having is a new experience. The experience that you think you're experiencing is a memory of your thing. That's not it. It's just new. Memories are reconstructed. All the research from modern neuroscience now verify this. But mind still think that there's some reality to the reconstruction that you make. You still think you are kind of reliving. Like that's how it was. So traumas are held in place when you access a very strong image with hidden, material and body sensation in that particular moment when that particular instance has happened. So you are accessing all of that and you're reconstructing, and then with a bunch of stories together. It's impossible to have an experience of your past. And the same way, it's like you can look back at your life, and if I asked you, can you encounter the past? Not that you have a past, the past. It's also not there. To start really looking at the past, it's not there. The past is not there. You can find some evidence. It's like there's a stripper in my bedroom, and I'm going in, and there is some evidence. There is some, panties and some stuff there, but that's not it. That's not the real thing. That's not enough. So the same way, you might have some evidence of your past, some memories, some images, all that sort of stuff. Will show. But that's just evidence. We are not looking for evidence. We are not looking for what garments. We are looking for the real, the actual, the past, which we can never find. And we think the past is causing us suffering. Impossible. You cannot have past causing you suffering because you do not get to relive your past. So then what is happening? How am I suffering? The only way you're suffering is because in the moment you forget what you're thinking is not happening right now. The thing is, when you are thinking, you're not realizing you're thinking it. As you're thinking, you forget the fact that you're thinking. And as a result, whatever you're thinking appears to be real. That's how hypnosis works. I'm a hypnotist, so can vouch for this stuff. This is exactly how hypnosis works. For someone for whom they are experiencing the hypnotic phenomena, they interpret what's happening as something that's happening to them. Even though I'm making them do something with their own mind. But they don't see what they are doing. They interpret that into, oh, this is happening to me. So it's the same thing is going on with the mind all the time. In the moment, you don't see that you're thinking it. It's like you can just say to yourself, my future looks really terrible. You can just say, my future looks really terrible. And really tune into your feeling of it, and you can feel something when you say that. Now just say, I am experiencing the thought that my future looks terrible. And the experience is going to be very different. Because you are acknowledging the fact that you're thinking in the moment. And the same goes for future too. Future is all about imagination, right? Because it's not really here. There's no images or snapshots that you have like past. So it's totally up to imagination. So you think your future is causing a lot of anxiety and suffering and worry, but it's not future. It's again misuse of the faculty of imagination. You're misusing your imagination. In the moment, you're forgetting that what you're imagining is not happening right now. Because the body doesn't have the capacity to make a distinction between either. The body doesn't know you're imagining stuff or is it really happen. It's always embody whatever it is. So you imagine a beautiful future, it's going to embody that. All that good feelings is going to come into your body. If you just embody some really horrible imaginative future scenario, it's gonna, you're going to feel that too. This body doesn't know to separate either. So with past, you go with memories. And memories is not like a whole thing. It's just like a pictures, snapshots of different moments in the whole thing. So what you have to realize is that, okay, the feelings you're feeling most of the time, you think the feelings are communicating to you something about what is going on in the world or what's going on in the future or what's happening, or it's most of the times your feelings are only communicating to you the degree to which you have forgotten that you have been thinking. And if when the degree is really high, that's when the experience is really profound. You're completely encapsulated in that trance. When the degree to which that forgetfulness is, let's just say, 100%, you're fully in the trance. That is called, it's like when your mind completely get absorbed in one idea to the exclusion of everything else. So that's hypnosis. So you are entering into a state of trance. It's not like a hypnotist has to come to be in your trance. You are living through your trances all the time. Your life, you have habitual trances through which you live life. You have a social trance, the social self that exists in the social trance. Sometimes we break it when our demands or our rules get broken. Then we act out of that social self. But most of the times, as long as everything is fine, we gotta just play in our role. Because most of our thoughts are self-referential, meaning you don't know who you are. You're really trying to find out, piecing together all this personality stuff and everything. You're like, okay, yeah, I did like that the last time. So, I'm that kind of a person, so you just have to add in. So the personality is always self-referential. In order for you to have this idea, I'm this and that and that and that kind of a person, you need to always go into this self-reference, go back into your behavior in the past and compare it to your self-concept, and then yeah, I'm I'm not that kind of person. I'm not this kind of person. So you start putting yourself in boxes. And these boxes probably would be, you wouldn't see how it's debilitating your capacity to be in all sort of manner of being. You wouldn't see that because at the moment it might feel like even virtuous, like, oh, I'm not that kind of person. I don't enjoy that. Then guess what? Life is going to just put you exactly in that. And you're like, oh, really struggling. Oh, because I'm not that kind of person, right? I'm this other kind of person who doesn't like it. So I guess there's not much to do unless you get rid of this whole situation. But then life is sneaky, make you get some sort of a disease in the body or something. Oh, that you cannot run away. It's not really as easy as like, oh, I just leave the situation. It's just so in the body. To kind of deal with it wherever you take it, right? So life can just challenge us in all sort of manner of being. And if we have some sort of rules in our mind, like, oh, this must not happen. Or it should, world should be like this. Everyone should act like that. You're going to suffer. You're going to really struggle in the world. World is not going to go according to your masturbatory demands. So-called masturbatory terms. What? Things should be this way. I have to do this, or it needs to happen, that needs to happen. Oh, I really need that happening, So all of this is kind of masturbatory words. So if you use them habitually, take it out, guys. It's not useful at all. All it creates is undue stress, undue tension, because you have to do something. Oh, it's going to be stressful now because there's a sort of responsibility weighing on you because you're like, oh, I have to do it, right? It's up to you loving something and you're doing what you love. Things like that. If that's where your life is directed to, it gets easier because there's always a innate tendency for us to run towards what we want. So instead of asking, what should I do? Or what do I have to do with my life? And all of that kind of stuff. Always ask, what do I want to do? What do I want to choose? Choice is powerful. The one who has power has choice. The one who is powerless don't have it. Right? So we want choices. So we deliberately bring that by speaking the word choice. I choose this. Instead of saying, oh, I have to do this, say, I'm choosing to do this. You see, now that's powerful. That's you in your power choosing to do something. See, instead of like you having to drag your ass to do something because you have to do that. See? So you want to change your way of relating to reality. Because I can ask the question, well, what should I do today? Nothing stops me. I can simply ask, what do I have to do today? You know, what do I need? What needs to happen today? It makes things extremely difficult. Because what needs to happen today? Because it's not really up to you, all the things that's happening. But if you say like what needs to happen today and you put like, yeah, this and this and this needs to happen, I need to make a breakthrough today. Like, I'm gonna just wait for it. No, it's not work like that. So we want to take out when you catch yourself using these words, should, must, ought to. It ought to be like this. It's this anything like need. Because most of these needs, they are not really needs. Just simply use the word need with it. Do I really need it? Like, not really. Really? Most of the time, you don't really, really need it. It's kind of a habit. Oh, I need that. Yeah. So change the way you speak. Change your semantics, your linguistics. Because this creates empowerment and disempowerment within you. You can instantly be disempowered by just asking, okay, do they like me? Do they like me? Oh, I need them to like me. There's so much difficulties. Now you have to act in some particular way and all sort of things based on what your mind read, like, oh, what sort of person they are, and like, oh, are they don't like it, or too much being in mind space. So ask yourself, is it important to me that people like me? And see how the body reacts. Is it important to me that people like me? Because if it is important, then there is a trade-off. Trade-off is you cannot be authentic in your life. You cannot be anyhow you feel in the moment, because you have to consider, oh, I cannot just do that because there's some criteria here. Oh, are they going to like it? Or are they not going to like it? Yeah. Depends on that. Only I can do stuff, right? The point is, you ask yourself, what is it that I really want in life? And it's different for everyone. But we are all unified when it comes to the abstract things that they give us. What we might need in the world might look different, but underneath of it, what we get inside, there's a unity there. We're all seeking satisfaction in life, fulfillment in life. But most of the times, it's already here. The problem is what is happening in our life end up in our thinking. Then we are not in flow anymore. You cannot be thinking about what is happening in your life and that's in your thinking. Now, No, that's not this moment. This moment doesn't have any of that. No, this moment is simple. So the only question is, how do I engage with this? What is truly possible for me to create with this moment? Because fact of the matter is that what you think of as your memories and all of that, none of it is true. None of your memories are true. They're all reconstructed each single time. If now you have to think about the same thing, now you're reconstructing from scratch. And it's a new experience because again, time has gone by and you have changed. So you have to account for all of that and create a sense of self that matches that particular time and all that stuff. That's never the you from that time because we can recognize it when we actually go back. If we have like a past home or something and we go back and look at some of our stuff from that time, read some of the things we wrote or something, all of a sudden we start to feel like really like, oh, really? Did I write that? You cannot even believe. The thing is, but that wouldn't be there in our idea of us from that age or something. Because brain, what it does is three things perfectly. It does three things. One is it deletes a lot of information. And second, it distort a lot of information, change the places and stuff. And the third thing is generalization. So you generalize and you generalize yourself. Well, I'm this kind of a person. Now that's a huge generalization. Oh, now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm a peaceful person. I'm a nice person. Now you're in that generalized category of the nice person category. I'm a compassionate person. So we're kind of in a hurry most of the times to put ourselves in just one category or another. The truth is, I don't know who I am. I'm just curious about. And the more I learn, I'm increasingly curious. Okay, what is this? What am I? Really? I mean, I know the consciousness and all that aspect of it, but like really, I'm curious about the world outside. I don't know what this is either. It's always nebulous. It's a neurological abstraction. Neuroscience say that. The spirituality says it's like, from where I come from, it's like all Maya. It's all illusion. I mean, if you ask Buddha, I mean, he's also kind of more on the same kind of line. It's nothingness. All somethingness is just appears to be, but it's really nothing. And also, like, we have science coming to all these kind of stuff, like matter. Scientists who research matter for 30 years and telling now, oh, actually, there is no such thing as matter. It's just condensed form of energy and stuff. And this appears to be like solid and stuff like that. And then the hormones playing some role in it, serotonin, because serotonin just don't simply just regulate our mood. That's not the primary job of serotonin. Yeah, mood regulation is one thing, but what's the more important thing is to act as a neurotransmitter to regulate your experience of objective reality. And what serotonin does adds to the reality that you see solidity. So things appears to be really solid to us when we are run on serotonin. So right now we are running on serotonin. But it's funny, It's really funny because one would assume, yeah, serotonin is naturally produced in our body. I mean, it should be so safe, should be so natural to our body. But no, above a certain amount of serotonin in the system, we get something called serotonin syndrome. The body will collapse and you will convulse and die. Something so natural, Body creates like 95% of the serotonin produced in the stomach. Doesn't make sense. How can that be toxic? Something produced naturally within the body is just toxic when it's increased to beyond a certain threshold. Whereas I can sit and take, like I'm 53 kg, 53 kilogram, that's like, I don't know, 110 pounds or something. I can literally eat in one sitting 110 pounds of magic mushrooms and I will not die. It's crazy. It's crazy to imagine that. Like, take like after a certain amount, just inject bunch of sugar, system collapse. Anything collapse. And somehow you take a bunch of mushrooms and like nothing happens. And it's just impossible to eat the same body weight of mushrooms in one sitting because I just have we all have like a really small stomach size compared to how much we are. And by the time that's kind of even getting to anywhere, you are kind of gone. So it's impossible. So it's just reality is really mysterious for me. Serotonin is just chosen just for the purpose of survival. That's it. Because if you look at the history of serotonin, it's there produced. It's smaller quantities in lower primates. And it increases in concentration in higher primates. And coming all the way to human beings, guess what? We have the highest concentration of serotonin in our system. And guess who see the world as experience the world most solidly? Us. Because serotonin's quality is solid. As solid experience. So you feel like, oh, it's real. Like, yeah, my God. Like, how can you deny the reality of something? Something is so solid, right? But we are running on serotonin. And our brain never encountered the real world. That's another thing. Because right from showing up in the world, our brain is inside the black box of our skull. It never experienced the world. All it does is it generates model. Brain generates model of the world outside. So right now, you have a model of the world. The dog, if a dog is sitting here, that dog will also be having another model. I cannot argue one model is more real than another model. The sounds and bats, that's all sort of weeds. We cannot just say just our model is the true model, right? The reality is our brain never really encountered the real world. So for me, the journey to death is not so much about reincarnation and this and that. For me, it's just like a magic. This is a magic. And finally, when the show is over, you're like seeing outside of the black box, how does reality look like? And we can still have an experience outside of the body. We call it as astral travel and out of body experience. People have near death experience where they experience their soul is out of the body. But the thing is, we are still experiencing it in consciousness, still an experience. I can have even a bigger experience than that if I just take one hit of changa or DMT or something, can be even more unbelievable than that. But it's all just model because it's all a neurotransmitter. Whether we call it the serotonin, moderated, mediated reality, or whether it's DMT, whether it's mushrooms, whether it's whatever we call it. The truth is, we don't really experience. We have outside of the body, there is some reality here which we don't know. And be interesting, just changes just like that. It just alter the, channel and get another neurotransmitter in play, things just change drastically. It's really wonderful. Like, really, really, this is all real. Because the truth is, we don't really see what is out there. Everything is a neurological abstraction. What that means is based on what neurons in the brain is firing up at what place, at what time, at what intensity, and at what sequence will determine what you see outside. It has absolutely nothing to do with what is really out here. They took monkeys and they were like mapping out the neurological, mapping out the neuronal firings for monkey, looking at lines going up and lines going down on a computer screen. And once they mapped out, they inserted not chip, like a road, like an electric, electric road into the brain. And then they stimulated that exact neuronal activity when the monkey was looking at lines going up. And instead of showing the lines going up, they showed lines going down just to see what the monkey would see. This is what the monkey saw. Monkey saw the lines going up. Monkey didn't see the lines going down, which is what's really out there. Monkey just saw the lines going up. So basically, what neurons fire out will dictate what you see out here, which has absolutely nothing to do with what is really out here. It's interesting. And we get so hung up on accurately representing the things that has happened in class. We feel like we have to kind of remember it exactly how it happened. For what purpose? For whom is it useful? If it is creating something incredible, making you coming to the moment more alive, you're showing up more at your best. Makes sense. But if it's making you miserable, making you suffer, and feeling all sort of disempowerment within, why would you be wanting to just accurately represent the stuff which is really a neurological abstraction anyway? Understand? Like your body just appears to be like this. And we get so identified with the past, even though it's all just a bunch of reconstruction in the present, in the now. That's the only place you can all be. It's always now. The thing is, it's just 4 hours now. Now it's not like a little thing in between past and future. That's probably you're like, oh, I cannot be in the now. Like, what do you mean you cannot be in the now? Where are you now? You're not in the now. Cannot not be in the now. Whatever you think, the idea that I'm not in the now is happening in the now. But you don't see that. You cannot see, that as a thought. In the moment, when you cannot see the thought for a thought, you get caught up in it. You get gripped by they have a strong hold on you. It's about you being able to recognize. So when you're feeling some negative emotions, instead of thinking, there's something wrong or something like that. No, remember, all that feelings are communicating to you is the degree to which you have forgotten the fact that you have been thinking. And what you're thinking is not happening right now. Just two things. And the moment, whatever you are caught up in, you just take a step back and just say, okay, I'm experiencing the thought that, say that bunch of words again and see if it has the same effect. It wouldn't. Whatever it is that you say, I, my life is just, bad," or you can say, I'm experiencing the thought. My life is just, bad," and see the embodied experience in the moment. How does it feel when you're saying, I'm experiencing the thought that my life is bad, as opposed to, oh, my life is bad, where you are not really seeing the fact that you're thinking in the moment. So take some time. But as you are feeling, you have to remember, oh, yeah, I'm doing that thing again. I'm doing that thing again where I'm just forgetting the fact that I'm thinking. You know? There is something there because there is no past. You've been hiding under shadows, making up stories, trying to grow up. There is no such thing as past. Past is just causing me suffering. No, it's what you're doing in the present right now. That's the only thing that can cause you suffering. And the suffering you are experiencing absolutely says nothing about your past. It says nothing about your future. It just communicates you to one thing, just one thing. The fact that you're thinking without realizing that you're thinking. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. It's like, have you heard like the first movie short, like movie scene that was shown was of a train way back in 1895. It's in black and white. There is no sound or anything like that at that time. So it's just the small short of a train just coming like this. You know? And the people who were there, they got so shocked. They got so shocked. They never experienced anything like that. They didn't take it as a surprise. They just started like moving and doing all sort of stuff, because train coming. And then you just give them the idea, like, okay, it's just appears to be the train is coming, but it's like there is all these things, and you can see there is the camera and there is the projector showing all that. And now they can safely experience and enjoy the experience. So the experience of living can be rich, can be beautiful. If you can say that thing, like, oh, it's okay. Nothing is gonna really happen. Whatever happens, I'm okay. Just that. That's my fundamental thing. I coach with everyone. The grounding is whatever happens, I am okay and I can handle it. And I will handle it. That's the mantra. Whatever happens, I'm okay. So that allows you to sit back and enjoy the movie, enjoy the show. And you acknowledge that what is there to your experience is just body sensations and images and sounds, and it's all this mixed together. That's what's an experience. And when we have that, it kind of feels like there is a you inside, looking out and seeing the world. That also is like a thing. It's not really there. Just also like when you start looking, you cannot find that kind of a thing. But just until you really look, it appears to be that there is a person, there is a me. But the me is just a story, just a word. Like you can see me, I. It's a word. I. It's a word. And you think I is inside the body. You think that's the I thing. No, it's not like a word is inside the body and this kind. When and the concept is stuck inside, running around, looking through like, oh, what is it? No, it's impossible. No, I can't do any of this stuff. The entire stuff is self-organizing itself. We don't do nada. We do nothing. We just simply are at the show. You know? But the moment you take it all too personally, you're like, oh no, 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 this is not just a movie. This is not just something that is just like that. It's real. It's reality. This is the whole truth. This stuff here, this is real. Well, then you are caught up in it. And now you have to make it like, oh, now it's a problem. Oh, really? Is everyone who has that similar situation finding that as a problem? Not really. Seems like just a few people finding it as problems. That's something like, what? What? Something. So, is that really a problem? Or is that really a problem? Instead of thinking your problem is real, just look into it. Really, why is it a problem? It's a problem because there is something that should not happen. That's why it's a problem. Something that must not be the case. That is a problem. Oh, this experience cannot happen. Then it's a problem. Now it's a problem. What you want to cultivate is equanimity, allowing things to be. It can be negative thoughts, it can be positive thoughts. It's all okay. It's about equanimity. Not to just treat good thoughts like, whoa, wow, wow, so good. No. Just to see it. Yeah, thoughts for thoughts. Thoughts are thoughts and thoughts are not facts. And your thoughts about the facts doesn't make it a fact. Doesn't make the thought a fact. That's where we are, guys. Where we are. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Yes? That good, huh? Just. Oh, yeah. Just. Very cognitive. Yeah. What about it's very patient. Yes. By the blood. Extent. Yeah. But the thing is, some of the stuff in the cognition that are habitual. So you just all you need is just that image just come up for a flash of a moment, and then the entire physiology start working its way to producer. So that's what's going on. Yeah, you have different levers at certain point. You have several triggers to access the same to access the thing. So it's the first one thing, and then you start. Oh, then it's like so many triggers out there to take you to the same place. So what we are speaking about is synesthesia. It's an overlapping of senses and emotion. An emotion and a sensation, like a sense, get stuck together. So what I do is usually with surgical precision, just kind of separate both. And you don't have to separate everything. You just simply take one context and just separate that, and the rest just kind of falls apart. It's like a domino effect. You just need to see through one thing. You don't have to see through every time. Like once the seeing happens, it's like the scene. The difference of the difference make all the difference. I mean, that's a good thing to remember. Yeah. So it's about looking for difference. And even my definition for power is simple. Power is your capacity to make a difference in whatsoever it is that you have power with. If you have power with your mind, you have a capacity to make a difference with your mind. So if you have power with your emotions, you have a capacity to make a difference in the way you are feeling in the moment. Then you have power with your emotions. So if I have power with the situation, then it's like my ability to make a difference in that situation. Now, looks like clear? Yeah. That is very honest. Anything personal, having that needs, feels like I would like to say that. I would like to ask something or whatever it is. It's about being authentic and true to the moment because sometimes we get so stuck in the social no. Like it's like, oh, I just do this. This is me. And then you become so predictable and you don't even like it. And it gets bored, with yourself because you put yourself in categories. So I'm just this. I don't do that. I don't do this. Okay, if you don't do that, now I guess in a situation where that needs to be done, you're gonna be fucked. Yeah. Not so much to do there, right? Because you don't do that. I guess. Or I don't vibe with that situation. I'm not a party person. All this kind of stuff. Maybe it's not about the party. Maybe it's not about party. It's about the people. Come up. It's not it's just a different thing. But you're too much identified with, oh, I don't go to party boys. That's me. Now you have to too rigid, too stuck. You know, life is way more dynamic and complex for you to navigate through such a rigid personality. So better off just forget the personality itself because all personality is like I explained before, is self-referential. You're kind of making up a personality based on past behaviors to situations or similar situations, and you're making that into a thing. You're like, oh, I am that thing. I am like this. But first of all, you are not a thing. It's called nominalization. When we turn a process into a thing for the simplification of communicating about it, communicating about like life. I can speak about my life, but it's like, it's a complex thing, So I just make it into a thing so that I can communicate. But don't for a moment think that however you are speaking about, that's what you are. You're not a thing. So you have to denominalize yourself. You have nominalized yourself and made you into a thing. And now you have attributed all these personalities on top of it. Like, oh, I'm this thing, but this thing is like this and like that and like those and things like this and behaves like that and feels like shit when that and that happen. And all, all these stories, you make up a whole story. Some people are good at making stories and they kind of make a good story, they kind of helps. Some people just make poor stories and they think it's okay. Like, I'm just going to get some, like, no, you're not going to get anything. At the beginning, it might be fun. People will be more considerate. Oh, yeah, poor person. Yeah. Just, there will be some consideration. That's like a payoff. Even when you tell the sad story, you get a different kind of attention, a caring attention, something, but it's not worth it. That's a trade-off. Trade-off is that you just live in disempowering. So don't for a moment bother with telling disempowering stories about yourself. All stories that you're telling about yourself, none of it is true. So why don't you make up a good story while you're at it? That's the point. One that helps us move forward. One that helps us rise up to the situations rather than lay low. One that allows us to strive forward in situations rather than hang back. So build a story that says, you know what? I have handled a lot of stuff and I'm good at it. Don't make up stories about, oh, I cannot handle this. I cannot handle that. I cannot, so much of fragility. Oh, I'm going to just break if so and so happens, if so and so happens, and that I'm also going to be turbulent. All this stuff. Just tell yourself, you know what? I'm done with telling the stories. And I choose this. And you tell, you know what? I'm good. Whatever happens, I'm okay. That's a place that you are choosing to meet the world from. You're choosing to meet the world from a place from, I'm okay. Whatever happens, I'm okay and I can handle it. And I will handle it. And the only question relevant to this moment has absolutely nothing to do with the past. It has everything to do with what's next. That's the question. What's next? It's easy to come to conclusions. Things don't work. It takes a little bit of effort to ask the question, how do I make it work? How do the people who do make it work make it work? What is the process then? What's the adjustments that I can make that would allow me to make it work? Don't be so fast into prematurely concluding, oh, I'm not that kind of person, or this doesn't work. And oh, be curious. Be curious with yourself and with the world outside. Because curiosity is inherently rewarding. The brain rewards an individual for simply being curious by releasing a lot of dopamine. So you feel really motivated and feel good in your body. And that's where we want to be, meeting the world from, right? There's more to reality than what I think and what I can think. The reality in which we live in is more complex than we think and more complex than we can think. Acknowledge that. How you see is just that, how you see things. There's absolutely nothing to do with how things are. You don't get to have the truth of any situation in your hands. You just get to have perspective. The question is, how would your perspective is when it comes to navigating reality, when it comes to navigating that situation, when it comes to kind of creating good results with the situation. Okay, guys, I guess that's it. We are in a good place. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you.